Hey everybody, welcome to the Pensky File. Today we're looking at Star Realms, right here, Star Realms. This is originally a $15 deck building card game. It's a 1v1 player game. If you buy multiple decks, you could do multiple players, but it's basically a 1v1 deck builder where you start out with a weak deck and you try to build a better deck and do damage to your opponent to kill them. This is the digital version. You can pay $5, I think. You have to go to the website and you can get the PC version, the iOS version, and the Android, I think. So you can play it on your phone, tablet, or PC. It's not available on Steam. You actually have to go to the website. So this is the PC version. It's got a couple options here. Let's go through quickly. You can play online. There's a campaign mode. You can play against the artificial intelligence. You can pass and play, which is probably more applicable to the tablets. And then there's the rules. Rules, basics, bases, scrapping, and choices. It's always good to have choices in a game. Is a game if it doesn't have choices? That is the question, to be or not to be. So you can play online. It's got leaderboards right here. We've got your record. You can challenge people. You can play a new game. The campaign mode, pretty simple. Just go through these things as they unlock. You play against basically artificial intelligence, but the decks are kind of customized. It's not a base game. They kind of change the enemy decks around or the setup to suit the narrative, the quote-unquote narrative. Artificial intelligence, easy, medium, hard. I have not unlocked or paid for the Gambit ships, which are an expansion. Pass and play, pretty self-explanatory. So let's get into it. Let's go against the AI. We'll do medium difficulty to start the game. All right, so as I said, this is a deck builder. This is the starting thing. He's taking his first turn, the medium AI, which was my birth name until I changed it to what I have now. He's doing his thing. These are, let's break down pretty easily what's happening here. Let's focus, Pensky. So this is the middle row. This is called the trade row, right across here. This is the enemy. This is his hand. This is your hand. You start off with a hand of 10 cards and 50 health. This is your health. When you knock your opponent down to 0 or they do it to you, the other person wins. So you don't want to lose all your health. You have these values of trade and damage right here. You have this hand of 5 cards. You start with a deck of 10. You start with 8 of these money cards, the little gold circles, and 2 of the damage cards. So we drew both of our damage cards on our first hand. What happens is you play all of your cards. Just throw them out there, like so. So when you throw all those cards out there, you'll notice that you get a value right here. So you have 3 money to buy things, and you have 2 damage to deal. The other sort of statistic to keep track of is health. It's this little green thing. There's these 2 cards out here that do health. They automatically give you health to your base right here. You can go above 50. There's no limit. It just starts at 50. So those are the 3 things. You have money, damage, and health. You throw out all your cards. All the card effects happen. If you had better ships, I just start with my crappy start ones. If you have better ships, their effect happens that the card has. So this one, if you played this trade pod, you'd play it just like you did the other ones, and you get 3 money instead of 1 money. So this card is better than the base starting cards, which is pretty much the starting floor entry level deck building design. You're going to start with a crappy hand. You need to buy better cards to do more damage or whatever you want to do. I have 3 money. I'm going to buy a 3 value card. I like this cutter. It gives us 4 health and 2 money each time. So it's better than this thing because it gives us health and it gives us money. So I take that into my deck. You might have noticed that the cards have these, the ones that you can buy have this additional thing right down here at the bottom, which is this 4 damage if you have a blue. So what that is you see the different colors here. There's a green, this one's yellow, this one is red, this one is blue. When you play cards of the same color as you throw them out into your hand, you get synergy abilities, which are these secondary values. So if you play this trade pod, you'd get this as a base value. If you've played another green blob card in that hand, you get this additional 2 damage. If you don't have another blob card, you don't get this damage. You just get this 3. So these are like the synergy abilities. When you play like colored cards, you get a bonus. Oops. No, don't want to do that. You get a bonus. So it's nice to build decks around 1 or 2 of the colors because it makes the deck synergize better and you get more efficient, and deck builders are all about efficiency. So we spent that. We took that card. We're going to do our 2 damage. I'll do 2 damage to him and end my turn, and then it's his turn. The only other difference here is these are ships. You can see up here in the middle row, he's going to do his turn real quick. Ships are right here, the Blob, Imperial Frigate, this other Imperial frigate. And these are 2 bases. You can tell they're bases. They're sideways, and they have health on the bottom. Bases act like ships. You play them in the exact same way, except they stay out on the board until they're destroyed, which is this health amount. So you'd have to do 4 damage to blow up this one, 6 damage to blow up this one. So they stay out. You don't have to keep playing them. They constantly keep giving you bonuses each turn. Outposts, which I'll click on. Some of them say outpost here. Outposts act basically like taunt cards in Hearthstone. The opponent has to attack them before he can attack anything else. If you had a base out here that was not an outpost, you have the option of whether or not you want to deal damage to the base or the person. And you have to deal all the damage necessary to kill it in one turn. So you can't do 2 damage on one turn and then 4 on the next to blow up this. You'd have to do at least 6 to blow up this base in one turn. So high health taunt or outposts are kind of useful. So I'm just going to throw all these out here. This is the way it works. You just throw all your cards out. I have 5 money now, so I'm going to buy the Mech World. So that's the base added to my deck and my turn. And so this is it. You basically go through these things. You try to build a better and better deck by getting more and more powerful cards, hopefully getting rid of some of your weaker cards, because there are cards out here that have the ability to scrap, like this one. You can scrap a card in your hand or discard. That's the one thing I haven't mentioned, scrapping. Some of the cards have scrap abilities, like that one. What that means is when you scrap, you take a card, it'll tell you where you take it from, and you take it out of the game completely. So you remove it from your deck, you don't put it into your discard pile, you remove it completely. It makes the deck leaner, meaner, and more efficient. So I'm just going to hit play all because it doesn't really matter. You just throw your cards out there. I have 6 health. I'm going to take the Blob Carrier because it's a pretty powerful card. Does 7 damage, and I can acquire any ship without paying its cost and put it on top of my deck. That's the synergy ability, so I'm going to end my turn. So that's it. You basically go through this and trying to get the other person down to 0 health. That's really it. You buy all your cards from the center row. You have these Explorer cards, which are always an option. These are always out here, and then you have 5 other cards. I'm going to play all. You just throw your cards out. You do whatever you can. You'll have money and damage. I'll take this guy, do my 1 damage, and that's really it. It's very, very simple, easy to understand. The rules are not very difficult. The game plays super quickly. It's the game. The digital version certainly holds your hands, but even the physical version is very easy to understand. Really, there's no low value cards, so I'll just take this guy and this guy. That worked out pretty well. And my turn. There's the common deck building thing. You want to be lean and efficient. You don't want to buy too many silly cards. Just because you have money doesn't necessarily mean that you should buy cards. You're sometimes better off getting a powerful card over a couple minor cards. It's kind of like like Bill Simmons says in sports, it's a trade value thing. You don't want to trade, $1 for 3 quarters or whatever. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that well. But it's a good game. It plays very quickly. It's great on the tablet. I like the tablet version better than the physical version just because I don't think the game is deep enough necessarily to warrant having to do the setup of the physical version. And the digital version also avoids the shuffling, which is always a problem in deck builders. You don't have to spend, every 3 minutes shuffling your cards. I don't want any of that. Yes, I want to continue. But I do like how quick it is. It's a great time waster. It's great for commuters if you're going to play on your phone or tablet. The portable card thing is very small. It's a very portable physical game in terms of that. The setup is very easy. Physical game, time, it takes absolutely no time whatsoever. You just basically separate the deck. You separate the 2 starting hands, and then you go from there. For a couple cons, I feel that the game is basically all about the setup of how the cards come in the middle and what you get for a starting hand, which more often than not really determines the winner. If you start off if you're the first player, you only get 3 cards, and if you get 2 of these Viper cards, which are these 1 damage cards and no money, it starts you off on a very difficult foot to get a good card because you're going to need a 1 card, obviously, it's all you can buy, and a lot of the ones aren't good. If on the other hand, the second player starts with 5 money cards, they can get some pretty good cards, and a lot of them are cards that you will always want. We haven't seen too many of them yet. There are certain cards that are almost must buy, in my opinion, and that sometimes feels a little bit like the game is playing itself. Like you just want these cards, you're just throwing these out, you're heading end turn, you just throw the cards out, you do whatever the thing tells you can do. and then you buy a card, and it feels like the game plays itself a little bit to a certain extent. There's not a lot of deep thought that goes into this. You basically do whatever you can. There's not a lot of strategy. It's not like Dominion where there are 10 piles of 10 cards, and you choosing which cards you want to buy is what's causing the deck to be built that you want, and you can see synergies and come up with your own strategies. Star Realms only gives you these 5 cards as an option, so you're sort of limited to what the game is going to allow you to buy and what you can afford to buy. So it holds your hand, or at least guides you down a certain path as to this is the way you can go, which is kind of annoying compared to a game like Dominion, which I feel you can see synergies in the cards, or at least try to see synergies or try to execute them. And your skill is kind of weird, but your thought as a player determines what the outcome is here. Here, I feel you're really limited to what's your best card, you do it, and then you proceed from there. I'm going to take this guy, and 3 damage, which is kind of a disappointing thing. I feel Blob Carrier, could he have destroyed the base? What the hell does Blob Carrier do? Oh, acquire any ship. Well, I didn't... Oh, without paying its cost, absolutely. That one. So, Blob Carrier is an excellent a card like I was just talking about. But it's, the game plays itself. The trade row has supreme importance. It escalates very quickly. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but sometimes it feels like you're just puttering along, not really doing much, and then all of a sudden the huge damage rolls are just going to start to come out, and that is the turning point of the game. So the 50 hit points goes quickly at a certain point. We might not get to it in this video, but at a certain point you're going to hit... Well, I just did a whole lot of damage there too. Yeah, 18 damage, so we basically brought him down to half in one turn. So the game escalates really, really quickly sometimes. Let's see if I can get another. Oh, I didn't get anything. He'll discard. Play that. Can't buy anything. That was kind of a waste. I'll take that. Game escalates real quickly. It can turn on a dime, and my problem with playing this game earlier was that I was trying to optimize my deck, and the game really isn't about optimizing your deck to be as efficient as possible. I know I said that earlier, but it's really just a minor sort of take on that. You really just want to get good cards and make them come out as quickly as possible, which is kind of optimized, but you can't get rid of everything that you'd want to get rid of. The game's too quick. It doesn't allow that to happen. So for instance, overloading on the red cards, which allow you to scrap early on, really puts you at a deficit because you aren't getting money fast enough or damage. So even if you're trying to cull your deck of all these minor cards, your opponent probably is getting damage cards and just going to kill you. So there's a sort of race aspect to this where you can't be doing a great job and win. You can't be creating the most efficient deck and winning at the same time. I feel like that's impossible in this game. Play all. That's what I wanted to do. Acquire ship. I'll take the battle cruiser. I'll do 11 damage to him. And I'll take this thing too. And that's the end of the turn. He's almost dead. We're playing quite well. Oh, we got his 2 bases out though, so we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's quick playing. The criticisms are minor. I think Dominion's a better deck builder. I think Dominion's the gold standard. This one's not bad though for 1v1 type of game if you'd want it to play that way. What do these do? Draw a card, then scrap a card. Both of those are pretty amazing. Let's get rid of this guy. We'll be able to get rid of both of them, actually. I'm going to get rid of the recycling station. Well, actually, no. I'm going to get rid of the hive. I want the recycling station. Take that, blow up him, do a little bit more. Hopefully we can kill him next turn. What is this? Draw a card, destroy target base. That would have been good to know. I'm not paying attention. I should have activated that card's ability. Let's end my turn. It looks like we're going to kill him next turn unless he gets some bases out anyway. Do 11 damage, 12 damage, even more damage, 6 damage. He destroyed my base. Get rid of these. We don't need the money at this point. Just needs to do some damage. Okay, missile bot, whatever. Discard this guy. Play all. Just play the goddamn thing. Mothership, doesn't matter. He's dead. And we have won. And that's it. That is Star Realms. So that's how quick the game is. It's really surprisingly quick. We did well that game. So yeah, I mean, the positive qualities here are easy to learn, simple rules. It's super quick gameplay. It's a great little tablet or phone game to play while you're, either traveling to work or whatever you're doing, trying to waste some time. The cons are, I think, the cards. There's only a couple key cards that you need, and it's almost a race to get those, and it's luck of the draw to get them, to have the money to buy them, and to have them show up in the trade row when it's your turn. The game kind of plays itself, which is amplified in the digital version, where you really just hit click play all. It does all the cards, and then you do whatever you can. And it just escalates super quickly. I think you could fix the escalation problem by increasing the health. Maybe 50 is the default value for health. It might be better with 75. I don't think the digital version lets you do that. Just to sort of stretch out the game and maybe let the strategy breathe a little bit. It would certainly help with the red cards, I think. It would be something worth considering, although the trade-off there is that you're lengthening the game time while the mechanics are kind of built for a fast, quick thing. So I don't know. It's totally up to you. You could set the health value at whatever you want and play the game from there. It might help with how quickly the game seems to go by. But that's it for me. I'd recommend getting this. It's a good $15 physical card game if you're into physical card games. The iOS version is $5, and I think that's even a better deal. It's a great little traveling game. Not the deepest of deck builders, not super strategy heavy, but it occupies that place of your brain where you just need to sit and click and make a couple of choices every once in a while and then just waste some time watching things blow up on screen. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, you can hit that like button. Helps me out a great deal. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Star Realms, if you think it's an enjoyable thing. Send me an invite too. It's Pensky, Pensky. Maybe I'll play a game. I'm fairly horrible at these games it's like mail chess for the digital version where you're mailing letters about each move. But yeah, if you want to add me on there. And otherwise, I will see you guys later.